Welcome to the campfire. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for your ear. My name is Michaela, I am a shaman, and my intention behind creating this channel was to provide a platform to share all the lessons and messages and insights that I have learned over my time in this world and in others, the messages and guidance from my ancestors, and to remind you of the beauty of this life and to help you come back to yourself. So thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome. Today's episode is a continuation of the episode on age. In the last episode, I spoke about the perspective of time through age and how age is quite literally just a number. There's not much else to it, but there's immediately an identity that's put on you when you tell someone your age. There's immediately an idea that someone has perceived of you when you tell them your age. In the last episode, I broke that down a little bit more, and I highly recommend you listen to it, give you a deeper insight into this one for sure. In the last episode, I also encourage you to go back into different ages of your life and notice the lessons that you learned in those ages, what you grew out of, what you grew into, and how each evolution of the new year, your new year of life, brought you closer into understanding yourself and brought you closer into understanding who you were meant to be. In this episode, I'm going to go deeper into that reflection for me, and I'm going to share with you different years of my life and what they truly meant for me in my growth, starting with an interesting perception on pivotal moments in my life and what they were, and reflecting on what would have happened if I didn't follow that path or if something changed. When I look back at my primary school and high school life, of course, a lot of the decisions that were made weren't mine personally. They were made for me by the ones who truly had my best interests at heart and who truly just wanted to protect me. Those people being my parents. There are three moments in my primary school and high school careers where I was going a specific direction, and in a day the entire trajectory of my life changed. It started at the age of 9 for me when my parents got divorced. It was the first pivotal moment in my life where I had the opportunity to truly dive deep into something that I didn't understand yet. Of course, I was 9 years old, but it sent me on a path of self-discovery without realizing it then. And there's core memories in that space that I to this day acknowledge, respect, and understand. The second moment for me was when I was 12 years old. We are Greek, and my mum surprised my brother and I with a trip to Greece to go visit our family. Although as a 12-year-old going on 13, I was very much in that teenage energy, and I had created a social life for myself that during that holiday I was going to live. I was going to start the social career that I had created for myself based primarily on the movies I was watching mostly. That when my mum surprised us with this trip, I wasn't grateful. I was actually quite sad, because now all the graft that I had put in for the people I was going to see, the boy that I was potentially going to kiss, and the life that I was going to live during my holiday completely changed. But again, that was an extremely pivotal moment in my life. If I hadn't gone to Greece at that time, I would have been led onto a completely different path. And yes, of course, everything that you choose is meant for you. But as a child, because your decisions aren't your own, the way that you flow through life is the way that you are trusting, because you are being guided by your parents. You trust in the guidance of your parents and what they give to you, regardless of if it's good or bad guidance. It's their guidance. The third pivotal moment was when I finished university. There were, of course, many moments during that time, but when I finished university, it was the first time in my life that I was not told what to do or how to do it. It was the first time in my life when I had the opportunity to sit back and truly feel what I want for myself and how I can get it. It was petrifying because my whole life I've been told what to do and I've been very comfortable moving in that process. But now I had to take a step out of it and ask myself what to do and how to do it. What dreams do I have for myself? How can I grow into that? And at the time I didn't really understand that. I didn't really know what to do or how to get to where I wanted to be. But I started this journey, and that was at the age of 23. 23, a huge lesson for me was quality over quantity. The idea of deleting friends. And it's a huge theme, and it's a very important theme in the greater scheme of things about setting your boundaries and breaking cycles and truly respecting yourself. Before 23, I had so many friends, I had so many connections. I would go somewhere and everyone would know who I was. I would greet people in the streets and it was so special and I felt so loved. But when I left university and I came back home, I realized that a lot of the people that I thought were my friends were just simply acquaintances that were in my vicinity frequently. So we would acknowledge each other when we saw each other naturally. And when I stepped out of that and I moved to a new space, I created new friends and I started doing the things I wanted for myself, the quantity of friendships diminished and the quality of friendships became known to me. I truly became aware of what friendships mean to me and who was providing that energy exchange correctly, and calling my friends out if they weren't giving me what I was giving them. What ended up happening from that is, of course, a lot of retaliation, a lot of pain, a lot of fighting, a lot of feuds, but you cannot feel guilty for saying no. You cannot feel guilty for how your no will affect someone else. You have to be confident in your truth by understanding what you want for yourself and trusting that. Everything else that follows is meant for you because you are choosing yourself. And at 23, that lesson came in hard and fast. Quality over quantity. With everything, with life, with friendships, with relationships, with choosing yourself, respecting yourself, and opening that door to feel. Before 23, I was learning things very fast, especially moving out of my home at 18 and having the opportunity to think for myself for the first time and to do things by myself for the first time. But I'm sharing the lessons of my ages with you from 23 upwards. Why 23? Is because I truly believe that before 23 I wasn't as present and as conscious in myself to what I was experiencing, that I didn't necessarily have as much awareness in my own personal growth. Yes, it was substantial, and yes, I was very much already on this path and practicing in this way, but I was driven by my ego. And a big part of getting to 23 and the quality over quantity as a lesson was removing my ego, truly just releasing who I thought I wanted to be and stepping into who I am. And this process started when I, for the first time in my life, had the opportunity to make my own decisions without anyone telling me who to be, what to be, or how to be. It was the first time in my life where I could peel back all those layers and go back to who I was when I was born. I could remember why I came here and try to unpack that in more detail. With that being said, and with this beautiful process that I've been on since then, 23 was the pivotal moment in my life. It's where I had an extremely difficult breakup that sent me on this path of self-discovery by going into my shadow self, by truly acknowledging who I am and what I want for myself and what that means for my greater good. And I cannot explain to you how much gratitude I have for that person, for the lessons that I learned from myself, the lessons that I've learned from that moment onwards, and the consciousness, the reflection, the awareness that has been brought with that pain. I do not wish that pain on anyone, but I do encourage you to feel your pain, to acknowledge your suffering, to not get caught in it, to not get stuck in it, but to work through it, to start the process of healing. We are so much more than the pain that we think we have. We are so much more than a victim. And it's important that you honor yourself in that way. You give yourself the patience and the space to feel, to process, and to heal. And if you are in situations where you are forced into friendships, or you've been friends with someone for a very long time, so it's easier to be friends with them than not to be friends with them, whatever the situation may be, I encourage you to truly analyze your friendships and the energy exchange that they bring. Are the friendships in your life filling your cup or emptying your cup? Are the friendships in your life giving you more, or are they taking more from you? There needs to be a balance in energy exchange. Of course, sometimes a friend will need you more than you need them, but that needs to be reciprocated. You need to feel that you can be your most authentic self around your friends, that you can be vulnerable, that you can feel safe. And if that isn't the case, reassess why you have that person in your life, what that person means to you, and why you are allowing that person to take from you. Please understand that I'm not telling you here to go and delete every single person you know that's hurt you, but rather sit with your friend, give them that love and share with them, be open with them about how you feel, and let them become conscious of whatever you may be feeling within you. Be vulnerable with them and open that space. The only way you can trust someone is to trust them. So trust them with your heart, give them that love, and be open and honest with them about how you're feeling, and let that be your guide. If your friend or whomever you're speaking to in this way doesn't give you the love that you deserve, doesn't give you the space for your vulnerability, then reassess, then truly reflect on who they are to you and what you want from them in your life. Deleting friends is an extremely difficult thing to do. It is personally much more difficult than a breakup, because you've chosen that friend to be in your life consistently. But if that friend is not serving you anymore, then it's okay to say goodbye to them. It also doesn't mean that they're gone forever. It just means that whatever level you may be on, they just aren't meeting you there, and that's okay. Be honest with yourself, be honest in your friendship groups, and consistently stay in your authenticity and watch who stays and who goes. Good luck. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am so grateful for you and for your ear and for your time. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Deleting friends and quality over quantity in friendships is extremely difficult to reflect on. So I'm sending you love, I'm sending you strength, and I'm wishing you goodness. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll chat to you soon. Bye-bye.